Alex Davis was at a crossroads. After the scandal, he was determined to rebuild his empire, no matter the cost. He sat in his office staring at a proposal that promised to restore his fortunes. It was risky, but the potential rewards were immense. Alex's eyes scanned the document. It was an investment in a cutting-edge technology firm. The proposal was ambitious, and the returns could be astronomical. But there were also significant risks. He knew the market was volatile, and that a single misstep could ruin everything he had left. He knew he should consult Emma, his trusted CFO, but a part of him didn't want to hear her cautious advice. He was tired of playing it safe. He needed a win, and this proposal felt like his ticket back to the top. The allure of success was too strong, and he could already envision himself regaining his former glory. As he sat in his sleek modern office, with the city lights twinkling outside, Alex felt the weight of his decision pressing down on him. He poured himself a drink and stared at the proposal. The room was silent, save for the ticking of the clock, each second echoing his mounting anxiety. Alex couldn't shake the allure of the proposal. It consumed his thoughts day and night. The more he thought about it, the more convinced he became that this was his path to redemption. The potential profits danced before his eyes, blinding him to the possible pitfalls. One evening, as he sat in his luxurious home, the weight of his decision pressed down on him. He poured himself a drink and stared out at the city lights. The sprawling view of the city he once ruled seemed to mock him, reminding him of what he had lost. He could almost taste the success that awaited him if he took the plunge. The temptation was too strong to resist. With a decisive nod, he picked up his phone and made the call. His heart pounded as he spoke to the investment firm, committing his resources to the risky venture. He was all in, and there was no turning back. As he hung up the phone, a sense of exhilaration washed over him. The decision had been made and the die was cast. He felt a surge of adrenaline, the thrill of the gamble, the intoxicating promise of victory. Alex's decision to invest in the tech firm led him to a meeting with its charismatic CEO, Victor Reynolds. Victor was a smooth talker, exuding confidence and charm. He painted a vivid picture of the future, filled with limitless possibilities. His enthusiasm was infectious, and Alex found himself drawn to the man's vision. As they shook hands, Alex felt a surge of excitement. This partnership felt like the beginning of something big, but he couldn't shake a nagging feeling of unease. Victor was ambitious, perhaps too ambitious, and Alex knew from experience that ambition could be a double-edged sword. Over the following weeks, Alex and Victor worked closely together, planning their strategy for expansion. Victor's ideas were bold, sometimes bordering on reckless, but Alex was captivated by the man's audacity. They spent long hours in meetings, fueled by coffee and mutual ambition, hammering out the details of their grand plan. Their partnership flourished, and the tech firm's stock soared. Investors were eager to get on board, and the company's value skyrocketed. Alex reveled in the newfound success, basking in the admiration and respect that came with it. But in the back of his mind, he couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right. Under Alex's guidance, the tech firm expanded rapidly. They acquired smaller companies, developed groundbreaking products, and attracted major investors. The success was intoxicating, and Alex reveled in the accolades and financial rewards. Every headline, every congratulatory message reinforced his belief that he was back on top. His bank account swelled, and his lifestyle became even more extravagant. Lavish parties, luxury cars, and exotic vacations became the norm. He hosted opulent events at his mansion, where the city's elite gathered to celebrate his success. The champagne flowed freely, and the air was thick with the scent of wealth and power. But as his wealth grew, so did his appetite for more. The thrill of success was addictive, and Alex found himself constantly seeking the next big deal, the next opportunity to expand his empire. He became consumed by his ambition, driven by an insatiable desire for more. The pressure to maintain their rapid pace led to shortcuts and questionable decisions. Employee morale plummeted, and quality control became an afterthought. Victor, ever the opportunist, continued to push for more aggressive expansion. He saw Alex's greed and played to it, knowing that as long as the profits kept rolling in, Alex would overlook the warning signs. Emma watched Alex's meteoric rise with growing concern. She saw the risks he was taking and the corners he was cutting. She tried to warn him, but he dismissed her worries. To him, she was just being overly cautious, as usual. "Alex, you're playing with fire," she cautioned, her voice filled with genuine concern. "This kind of rapid expansion is unsustainable. You need to slow down and reevaluate." She placed a detailed report on his desk, highlighting the potential pitfalls and the growing number of red flags. But Alex was too far gone. He was addicted to the thrill of success, and nothing Emma said could dissuade him. He glanced at the report, barely acknowledging it before waving her off. "Emma, I appreciate your concern, but I've got this. Trust me." His words were confident, but there was an edge of desperation in his voice. Emma left his office, her heart heavy with worry. She knew Alex well enough to recognize the signs of his growing obsession. She could see the toll it was taking on him, but she felt powerless to stop it. She could only hope that he would come to his senses before it was too late. As the company grew, so did the cracks in its foundation. The pressure to maintain their rapid pace led to shortcuts and questionable decisions. Employee morale plummeted, and quality control became an afterthought. The once innovative tech firm began to struggle under the weight of its own ambition. Victor, ever the opportunist, continued to push for more aggressive expansion. He saw Alex's greed and played to it, knowing that as long as the profits kept rolling in, Alex would overlook the warning signs. He suggested risky ventures, questionable partnerships, and dubious financial maneuvers, all in the name of growth. Alex, blinded by his desire for success, went along with it all. He ignored the growing discontent among his employees, the increasing number of customer complaints, and the whispers of dissent. He was focused on the numbers, on the bottom line, and on his own ego. One day, as he walked through the office, he overheard a conversation that gave him pause. Two employees were discussing the latest product launch, their voices filled with frustration. "If we keep cutting corners like this, it's going to come back to bite us," one of them said. Alex felt a pang of unease, but he quickly brushed it aside. There was too much at stake to let doubt creep in. One evening, Alex received a call that would change everything. It was from a whistleblower within the company, someone who had seen the shady dealings and couldn't stay silent any longer. The voice on the other end of the line was nervous but determined. "You need to know the truth," they said. "Victor has been hiding the company's financial troubles. We're on the brink of collapse." Alex's heart sank. He had been so blinded by his greed and ambition that he hadn't seen the disaster looming on the horizon. As he stared out at the city lights from his office, the weight of his decisions bore down on him. The question now was whether he could salvage anything from the wreckage. He felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead as he processed the information. The walls of his office seemed to close in around him, and the city lights that once symbolized his success now felt like distant stars, mocking his failure. He knew he had to act fast, but the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty. The whistleblower's words echoed in his mind as he stood by the window, looking out with a determined yet troubled expression. He realized that the choices he made in the coming days would define his legacy. Would he be remembered as a visionary leader who overcame adversity, or as a cautionary tale of greed and ambition gone awry? The atmosphere was tense, setting up the cliffhanger for the next episode.